What kind of tornado would be strong enough to derail a freight train like the one we just saw taking a tumble in Illinois? Based on their wind speeds and impact, tornadoes are rated on what's called the EF, or Enhanced Fujita Scale.
It goes from 0, which is a fairly weak one, to 5, which are the massive ones that could just wipe out whole towns. Now, this isn't the first time that tornadoes have blown trains off tracks. For example, the 2021 Western Kentucky tornado, a long-track EF4 that went through several counties, and it derailed 27 train cars, one of which was found 75 yards from the tracks.
Back in 2008, an EF4 tornado hit a dorm on a Tennessee college campus. The destruction was so bad, emergency responders showed up with 100 body bags. But miraculously, not a single person died. Here's the weird thing. The tornado in our video was a much weaker EF2. So how did it flip a train?
A fully loaded freight railroad car and its commodity can weigh up to 286,000 pounds. That's 143 tons. So you wouldn't think a wind would knock one over.
But note the word loaded. Quimby thinks the difference here is that some of these rail cars may have been empty. He says an empty rail car can be susceptible to tipping, even when you'd least expect it.
Trains that are going over open areas are much more susceptible to blowovers. If you had an empty railroad car sitting on a perfectly flat track, wind can move that car. It doesn't have to be a tornado either. It can be just a 30-mile-an-hour wind if the handbrakes aren't applied.
And these winds were estimated at 110 miles per hour when they collided with the fast-moving train, which in itself was cruising at a steady 40 to 50 miles per hour. So if it's known that wind can be a factor in derailments, what should have happened?
Most railroads have rules, particularly if it's a perpendicular wind is blowing more than 50 miles an hour. They will tell the train crews to slow down, just like an air traffic controller is to an airplane. But weather-related events are time-sensitive and depends on how quickly the railroad can respond to them. Trains aren't like automobiles. They can't stop on a dime. These events happen so quickly that even the weather predictors cannot keep up with them.
The takeaway? This accident appears to be a chain reaction started by empty train cars. And while the town of Lawrence, Illinois was completely evacuated as authorities cleaned up the chemical spill, there were luckily no deaths or injuries related to the crash.
Moving on.
The gentle, frictionless glide of an escalator is one of the many modern conveniences we take for granted. But riding escalators isn't without risk. In fact, in China, it is the leading cause of injuries and death related to special equipment. Here's why.
It's February 18, 2016 in Ningbo, China. Commuters are heading up toward ground level from a bustling subway station. The vast majority of people take the escalator instead of the stairs. It's a choice they'll soon regret. Let's look at that again. CCTV footage records the moment the escalator that's going up suddenly reverses and shoots dozens of riders into a tangled pile at the bottom. Here we see a woman in a pink coat getting crushed by a pile of commuters. Another angle filmed by a commuter on a cell phone shows the pileup on the floor as those getting crushed on the bottom scream out.
Not only are things happening so fast that you kind of can't even get your bearings or try to run up, but I have to imagine it was really scary.
It turns out this reversal of fortune happens more often than you'd think. Check out this commuter crush in South Korea, which injured 14 people. And this footage of a shopping mall escalator in the Philippines that suddenly sent at least 20 reeling backwards.
It's moving so quickly with people just piling up on top of each other, and escalators are made of a lot of sharp parts. I'd be really afraid of a foot or a finger or something else getting sucked into it.
But when it comes to escalator mayhem in China, McCarthy says, unfortunately, we shouldn't be surprised.
China's a huge country, and according to one 2015 report, 110,000 escalators in the country have safety issues. And it seems like subway stations in particular are really susceptible to escalator issues like the ones we see here.
You've probably heard the escalator etiquette rule, stand right, walk left. Well, that method has actually been found to cause uneven wear on escalators, upping the risk of malfunction. Is that what happened in this case? Let's see if our experts can take us to another level.
First, we consider if it could have been a problem with the engine.
According to city officials, the motor on this escalator was changed just a few months before this incident, and they say that everything was working fine. There were no obvious problems with it. But what's being found regularly across subway stations in China is that light-duty escalators are being installed instead of heavy-duty escalators that are much more fit for purpose.
It turns out a light-duty escalator is what you would install in, say, a small shopping center or hotel. It would have smaller specifications than a heavier-duty escalator, such as a smaller track radius, since it is carrying fewer people for a shorter period of time. This cost-saving measure likely isn't happening in the U.S., but it's estimated escalators still cause 15 times more injuries than elevators, even though there are nearly 30 times more elevators in the U.S. And luckily, no one was seriously hurt in this case. But what should you do if it happens to you? It's all about not panicking.
Panic results in chaos, results in unnecessary injury.
Instead, follow the example of this guy, who remains calm, cool, and collected.
The best thing you can do is take a moment to just turn around. Go in the direction that you're moving. See if there's a different way you can escape.
The takeaway? This was likely a mechanical malfunction caused by overuse and lower quality equipment. Although Chinese officials claim the motor on this escalator was changed just a few months prior to this incident. But if I ever visit, I will seriously consider taking the stairs. A peaceful hike in the mountains suddenly turns into a high-stakes standoff between man and beast. If this happened to you, would your animal instincts help you survive?
October 10th, 2020, Kyle Burgess is on a solo run in the Wasatch Range of Provo, Utah. He's enjoying the breathtaking scenery along the trail when he spots the tiny silhouette of a small feline creature.
I pulled my phone out because I saw, like, little baby things in the trail. I thought were bobcats. So I was like, oh, cool. As I start getting this video, within 2 steps, I realized, nope, not bobcats.
Nope, that's not one, not two, but an entire family of cougars, a much bigger type of feline. And this is the ferociously protective mother.
I didn't really know what to do in the situation. And so part of me just was like, let's just improvise and we'll see what happens. Go away! Go away, please go away!
The wild predator pursues him up the path. Kyle steadily walks backwards, grunting at the beast, trying to scare it away.
Roar! Roar! Ah! I didn't want to turn around. If she did attack me, I want to see this encounter happen. Go away! Go get your babies. I just started yelling. I started barking. I was doing everything I think I could. I'm big and scary. Go away!
But Mama is relentless, hissing, baring her teeth at Kyle, committed to protecting her offspring by any means necessary.
I gotta keep my footing. I gotta keep my eye contact with her, because every single time I looked away, she just darts right towards me. No! No! Get the away, stupid kitty cat. I don't feel like dying today.
Typically, cougars hunt at dawn and dusk, and they attack and kill their prey by stalking them. They'll usually leap on them from behind and deliver a killing bite to the back of the neck or the back of the head. They have a bite force of 400 pounds per square inch.
The cougar once inhabited almost every section of the United States until the early 1900s, when they were nearly hunted to extinction in the Midwest and eastern U.S. But new research suggests that after a century of decline, these cats are repopulating in a big way, sometimes at the expense of their human neighbors.
In January 2004, a mountain biker in California was killed by a cougar while he was leaning down and repairing the chain on his bike. That same cougar attacked another mountain biker that same day.
In short, Kyle was right to be scared.
I was trying to think of all the different outcomes. She's either gonna get me, or I can maybe come up with some crazy scenario where I come out unscathed.
There have only been 27 known fatal cougar attacks in the past 100 years, far fewer than the body count of the North American black bear, which has killed nearly 25 people in the past 2 decades alone. So how did Kyle get out of this jam? Was he smart, or was he just lucky?
Many people suggest that Kyle was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The second you see that cub at the end of the trail, you know that its mom is not far behind. He was there, in my opinion, just a little too long, and that's where she's going to feel like she has to stand her ground.
But it turns out there are very specific ways to handle an animal showdown like this.
The #1 rule is to remain calm and not to mimic prey behavior. When you're taking your eyes off the animal, you're presenting as prey, you're making yourself more susceptible to really being attacked. Stand your ground, appear to be intimidating, but keep your wits about you. Don't turn your back, and very slowly start moving away.
Even if you wanted to run away, cougars can run up to 50 miles an hour, so you don't have a chance against this animal. It will win against you.
But Kyle never runs. Instead, he fights back.
Once I kind of got this distance between her, that's like, hey, this is my time. Let's grab a rock and throw it at her.
Maintaining eye contact, Kyle throws the rock.
No!
And 6 minutes into the encounter, she's had enough and takes off.
Yeah, so that just happened. Wow. Holy cow.
Our takeaway? It looks like Kyle did all the right things in this crisis. But a word to the wise. The next time you see a cute little animal in the wild, there's most likely a much bigger parrot around who already has its eyes on you.
Up next, he was buried alive when his stunt appeared to go totally wrong.
He is stuck and trapped under there.
Stay with us.